Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell y'all how I came out to my parents. So if you know how I came out, keep on watching. So I came out when I was about 23. It was the end of the year, so it was near my birthday, which is October 20th. Shout out to all the Libras out there. If you're a Libra, comment down below if you first, before I go into the story, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell right next to it so that you guys can get notified every time I post a video. So if you know, like I said, keep on watching. Ooh, guys. Anyway, I came out to my parents when I was about 23. I came out to my friends a little before, like a couple weeks before, and they were very receptive. They embraced me for the most part, and coming out to my parents was a little bit more challenging, yet they weren't what I thought they were. They didn't react the way I thought they would react. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna hide it the rest of my life? Which I can't, but I need to embrace it and just keep it moving. So I came out to my parents that I was pregnant, and I was 23. I stopped going to college prior to becoming pregnant. I didn't go to college for a couple years, and I think their initial response in their head was disappointment, because who wants to have a young child? I wasn't young. I mean, I was early adult, but not being married and not being able to have a degree, it was just like, you know. But for me, honestly, before getting pregnant, it's like my dream of going to college was just so different than what actually it was. Like, I literally thought it was gonna be like partying, a little schoolwork, and just a bunch of fun. But little to my surprise, it was a lot of schoolwork and little partying, and I wasn't sitting well with that. That didn't sit well in my spirit at all. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna go to school anymore. So I started partying more, going to school less, which is dumb because I was on my parents' dime. I had student loans, which I'm still paying. If you have student loans, comment down below. Sally Mae, what I tell you, I don't dislike anyone more than I dislike her. Like, that heifer can go somewhere with her life. But student loans are no joke. And so I didn't drop out of school. I finished the semester, both semesters. I just didn't go back the next year. But I came out to my parents, and like I said, I think their first initial thought was disappointment in their head. But then, you know, I feel like they came around to it. Being someone that is 23 and pregnant wasn't ideal. It wasn't ideal for me. Coming out to my family, coming out to my friends that I was pregnant was honestly one of the hardest things I felt like I had to do, because I felt pressure to not be like my mother. And I'm sure y'all thinking like, what? But if you don't know, I was adopted when I was 10, but my biological, I don't want to call her mother because I feel like that word is used too loosely, but by my biological person who carried me in their stomach, she was a horrible person. She was a horrible mother, and she had several kids in the double digits, never settled down, never really dated the guys that she was with. And I told myself that I would not be that person. I would never be that person, you know, who just sleep with men and get pregnant and pregnant and pregnant and pregnant and pregnant. Like, at some point you have to understand, at some point you have to realize and mature and evolve into something, and to think that this is not the life I want for myself. This is not the life I want for my children. And so I have to come up in my head with the mindset of doing things different. You can't do the same thing, expect the same results. If you do the same thing, you can't do the same thing and expect different results. You have to do something different. And so I've always told myself that I would never be that person. And so being pregnant, like I said, at 23, it wasn't the latest. I mean, it's not like I was super, super young, but for me, I was extremely young. I was very immature. I feel like I struggle with my identity a bit, and to have to fend for another person, it was just like, It was a lot. So, needless to say, I moved back with my parents in Ohio, and it was it was a good experience. I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, I've never been pregnant before, so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how people would receive me because I'll be going back to the same church that I grew up in since I was 10. I will be seeing all the same people, same faces, and I didn't want to be that person who, oh God, there's another girl who's pregnant with a baby daddy, you know. And so after I got over that and stopped really caring what people think, and I think that's the biggest thing nowadays. You have to really stop caring about how people feel when they're being negative. If someone's giving you constructive, loving criticism, that's one thing. But when people are just negative, looking at you negative, just acting like you're some dirt walking, it's just like at some point you have to realize that that's their own insecurities, and you can't allow their thoughts and opinions to, you know, dictate your life. And so I had a horrible pregnancy. I gained 75 pounds. I had which is called preeclampsia, where you gain a lot of water weight. You have high blood pressure. It's a lot of issues basically in being pregnant, and I was miserable. I felt like my sister had kids, my sister-in-law had kids, and their pregnancies were like easy, and I'm just like, me getting pregnant was like, girl, I was struggling. But I went to the doctor's. One of my last doctor's appointments, I went, and my doctor said that I had to get rushed to it's called Rainbow. It's in Cleveland, Ohio, one of the top pediatric hospitals in the country. I got rushed there because I had preeclampsia, and my daughter's heart rate was beating, and my blood pressure was going off the roof. So they rushed me there, and they told me before they wheeled me into surgery that I had what you call IUGR. Well, my daughter had IUGR, which means I was 9 months pregnant, but she stopped growing in my stomach at 7 months. So it's called intrauterine growth restriction, but the short word for it, or letters for it, is IUGR. And she basically stopped growing at 7 months. And they were like, she's not going to be breathing. You're not going to be able to see her for a little bit. She is going to be extremely tiny. She's going to need tubes, incubators, everything. And I'm just like, oh, really? Like, I'm already struggling, and this is something that I have to deal with as well. So when you have praying parents, when you have praying family and praying friends, there's nothing that the doctors say that God can't fix. There's nothing the doctors say that God can't handle and prove them wrong. And so, lo and behold, we got wheeled into I got wheeled into the OR. My mom came once they prepped me, and they were cutting me open and whatever. And all I remember is her crying, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. They told me that wouldn't happen, but the way God works is He do all things, and He can do all things, and there's nothing that they can say or any explanation to explain how God works. And so she came out. She was really tiny, but she was feisty. She was in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, for about 2 weeks. She had to have a couple procedures, very minor procedures, and she had to have her hair shaved off on the sides because her IVs kept popping out. So they put it in the side of her head, which is so hard to watch. And then she kept pulling on her feeding tube. And I'm just like, despite her being 3 pounds, this child was feisty. She was a fighter. She was feisty. And I think the biggest problem or setback for me was that since I had since I had the C-section, they put me on some kind of medication for my preeclampsia so that I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. I couldn't do anything. So I couldn't see her for 24 hours, which was extremely hard. But my mom went and saw her. She stayed with her a little bit. She took pictures, and it was crazy. It was a crazy experience. But I thank God for my mom. I thank God for my family and my friends. And my daughter is now 9 years old, and she's the most kind-hearted person. She is. I feel like she's gonna be a nurse. I feel like she's too nice sometimes, but she is the sweetest. And you honestly couldn't ask for a better person, a better daughter. But I thank you guys for listening to my story, how I came out to my parents that I was pregnant. And yeah, just know that all things work together for those who love the Lord. I strongly believe that. And if you don't believe in God, I'm not going to push religion on you, but whatever you do believe in, just focus on positivity, focus on my daughter. Focus on trying to better yourself as a person, better yourself as a friend, a sister, a brother, an uncle, a mother, a father, whoever you are. Just focus on being the best that you can be. I thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, right? No, today's Thursday. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Like I said, if you have not subscribed, hit that red button, which is called subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. And I'll be back. Shout out, first of all, shout out to almost 700 subscribers. The last time I was on here, I had 400 and something. But I almost have 700 subscribers, which is crazy. Let me see the exact amount. I can tell y'all. And if you want to get shouted out in my videos, I'm gonna start doing video shout outs. Do comment below, hashtag I want a shout out, and I will shout you out. And the first person who writes that will be the first person that gets shouted out in my video. So this is my real-time subscribers count, and it says, focus, do I see that? 695. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video.